The shadow entity pressed against the dimensional barrier like oil seeking cracks in glass. Kael stumbled backward as alien intelligence touched his mind, cold, vast, utterly without mercy. Through the fragment's enhanced perception, he could see its true form, not darkness but absence, a hunger that consumed the very concept of existence. Retreat imperative, the fragment urged desperately. Hunter attention dangerous. Proximity enables tracking. But even as they scrambled away from the reality breach, Kael felt the thing's presence following them. Not physically, it couldn't cross the dimensional barrier yet, but its awareness had locked onto his signal like a predator scenting blood. Move! Okafor shouted, recognizing the threat even without fragment-enhanced sight. Whatever you saw in there, it saw you too. They ran through terrain that shifted beneath their feet. Gravity pools tried to snare them. Crystalline formations sang warnings in frequencies that made their bones ache. Behind them, the dimensional weak point pulsed with increasing instability as the shadow entity tested the barrier's strength. Ghost flickered in and out of phase frantically. It's following us. I can feel it pressing against reality. The fragment shared more of its memories then, desperate data streams flooding Kael's consciousness with images of its former existence. He saw the homeworld as it had been, vast networks of crystalline cities spanning continents, beings of pure signal dancing through forests of living light, harmonious civilizations that existed in perfect dimensional balance. Beautiful. Peaceful. Advanced beyond human comprehension. And then the hunters came. They emerged from deeper reality layers, the fragment explained as they stumbled through a grove of backwards growing trees. Entities that predate dimensional structure. They consume organized consciousness to sustain their own existence. Kael watched through borrowed memories as the first shadow fell across his fragment's homeworld. The hunters didn't attack with weapons or violence, they simply unraveled things. Complex civilizations became component particles. Millennia of culture dissolved into quantum foam. Beings who had existed for eons found themselves reduced to scattered atoms. God, he whispered, understanding the true scope of what they faced. Your entire dimension. Consumed. Billions of consciousness patterns reduced to base energy. We translated here to escape, temporary measure only. The horror of it staggered him. The entity in the zone's core wasn't just a refugee, it was the lone survivor of universal genocide, carrying the memories of an entire dimensional layer within its fractured consciousness. How many? Sable demanded, her hard light barriers flaring as gravity twisted around them. How many of these things are there? The fragment's answer came loaded with existential dread, unknown. They exist between dimensional layers, feeding on reality itself. Potentially infinite. They crested a ridge of impossible geology, stone that flowed like water while remaining solid underfoot. Below them, the zone's heart stretched toward distant mountains, a landscape of controlled chaos where the laws of physics negotiated their relevance on a case-by-case basis. And moving through it, drawn by the entity's increasingly desperate summons, were other fragments. There, Ren pointed with a trembling hand. 3 signatures converging on our position. Kael could see them through his enhanced perception, streams of alien consciousness wrapped around human hosts, all responding to the primordial intelligence's call. Fragment 2, Luca's archive, walked beside them in mechanical precision. Fragment 5, the mirror, flickered between multiple dimensional states as its hollow collective host pushed deeper into the zone. And something else, something that registered as Fragment 6 but felt wrong somehow, corrupted. Void detected, the fragment confirmed grimly. Host integration incomplete. Dangerous variables. The convergence was accelerating. 7 fragments scattered across continents were now within kilometers of each other, drawn together by forces beyond human comprehension. When they reunited. What happens when all 7 come together? Ghost asked, voicing the question that terrified them all. The fragment's response carried the weight of cosmic possibility, original entity restored. Dimensional barriers controllable. Reality layers accessible. Which meant salvation or damnation, depending on who controlled the reunion. Luca suddenly stopped walking. His white, archive-consumed eyes went completely blank. When he spoke, his voice carried harmonics that belonged to no human throat. Fragment reunion detected. 7 become 1. The barrier can be sealed permanently. The Russian's head tilted at an inhuman angle, processing alien calculations. 1 host required. 1 sacrifice.